And I am back to play out this particular battle to take Parag de Wazbag. Now, let's see here. We've definitely got the height advantage here. It's not as stark as it looks on the map, but it's not too shabby either. Let's see, we could probably we want to use the geographic features here to force them into a bad situation. That much is for certain. It's probably smart to also make them run as far as we can get them to run. So, probably... Well, there's two approaches here. We can try and use this as a choke point, put the pikemen here, put the militia spearmen on the flanks to cover the flanks. A lot of their units will probably try to funnel in and just fight the pikemen and lose. And anything that goes on the flanks will try to fight the militia spearmen. Let's see. Do border rangers have stalk? No, they do not. But they do have Strider and Vanguard deploy. Okay, not too shabby. So, we could do that, but then we won't get too much use out of the cannon. And not too much capability to skirmish, either. We could use this hill, this little mound of bones here, to cover up one flank. I think that would be probably wise. Now, let's go ahead, and let's put Al-Qatani Fellowship in the center here. We'll put the militia spearmen right here, sure. Then we'll have in ranks, we'll have the pikemen behind them. And we'll put let's see. Let's put these guys back a little bit. We'll have the cannon right here. So they get unbroken capability to shoot at the foe. Let's put the border rangers right here. We won't get them too far from the knights or the light scouts. We'll need the knights and the light scouts to cover them, in case the enemy cavalry comes close. Too close for comfort. Let's see, militia archers back here. Probably smart to put the Bugman Rangers with the border rangers. Yeah, that would be wise. All three of them together could probably do some pretty nasty missile damage. And who's left that I've not used? The Dwarf Warriors are great weapons. Yeah, we'll put them a little bit off to the back here. They'll be of some usage, just not immediately. They could somewhat cover for the militia archers, however. And for Amelia and Valmer, Amelia will want more towards the center of the formation, especially now that she can provide the Spear of Myrmidia buff. Oh, she's got the fireball, that's right. Well, let's put her closer to the front lines then, so she can at least throw some fireballs. Valmer Gausser, we will put here, close to the front lines. He's not too shabby of a fighter, so we'll want him to get in sooner rather than later, especially considering that their lord is pretty crappy. Alright, this sounds alright to me. Let's go ahead and start this. Let's go ahead. Now, we're going to want the cannons to make some wise choices for who they're shooting at. Orc boys are probably going to be the big problem here. So, let's hit them with everything we've got early on. And let's group these gentlemen. And send them up closer to the front lines. Fair bit of damage to those orcs. Not too shabby. Not too great either, but not too shabby. Get a look at these guys. I really just dig the light scouts. I don't know. I like a lot of simpler units, really. Let's put it in slow-mo. Take a look at the border rangers, since I've just now recruited them for the first time. Yeah, very Badlands, very, Ranger. Kind of remind me of the Haramalts of Bretonnia, really. Which makes sense, since the border princes are at least partly of Bretonian descent. Okay, let's go ahead and get out ahead of this Goblin Wolf Rider issue. We'll use the Knights, speaking of Bretonian heritage, the Discount Bretonia Knights. I like that they've got little Imperial helmets that Bretonia doesn't use. Just to let you know, they're very close to a quality imitation of Bretonia, but not really. Several of them are getting caught on my own men. That's just my own sloppy formations. Oh, I did hear that they had updated... Right, the new hotfix came out that made it where the AI is less likely to send their units to fight Outriders in your army. So they're probably going to actually kind of ignore my Border Rangers and Dwarf Rangers here. Let's see. The Goblin Wolf Riders should be able to outrun my Freelance Knights, but the Freelance Knights are able to catch up, so things are going to get ugly for these gentlemen. They're not going to be able to run that fast. The Border Rangers are seemingly going to be allowed to just shoot at as much as they wish. Let's get another fireball in there. Hit these guys. It's kind of fun playing the game in slow-mo. I don't do it too much. I really should. If you're not too skilled, it can really help make up for that. Okay, let's get some of these guys out of the way. Out of harm's way here. Alright, the Freelance Knights, let's have them stop. Don't want them to just chase after the Wolf Riders endlessly. Now, these cannons are still taking shots at the Orc Boys and doing quite well at it, I should say. Let's get Amelia to a safer place, safer spot. No need for her to go in fighting ahead of everybody else. This is a big army. Okay, so I've got a new plan here. Let's have... Let's see, let's have the pikemen, these pikemen. We're going to need this army to spread out, I think. So let's have, yeah, these militia spearmen make a spot. And we'll have these pikemen move in their spot. The Alcatani Fellowship will move over here. And we'll have these militia spearmen move right here. And these pikemen... Well, am I hitting... Okay, I am hitting the Alt key. Okay, for a second I was worried I was hitting the Windows key. I do that sometimes when I'm trying to hit the Alt key. Yeah, and they'll spread out like so. The Border Rangers are trading missiles with the Goblin Archers, which is not ideal, but we'll live with it. The Goblin Wolf Riders are going for my Border Rangers. We'll send them to try and deal with that somewhat. Oh, that's a lot of Goblin Wolf Riders that just died there. Victory is in our grasp. Are you sure about that? I am going to be able to do quite a bit of damage here to their flanks, just casually. Oh, the cannons. I wasn't paying attention. The good old... Always leaving... always forgetting about these things. Let's get the pikemen in there to fight these Wolf Riders, because they are exposing themselves. Okay, looks like these pikemen are going to be able to put themselves in a good spot without messing up my formation too much. The Freelance Knights, let's not keep them running after the Wolf Riders. They'll not get to do that much damage on their lonesome. And let's set these gentlemen to skirmish and fire at will. Now, let's turn off, yeah, skirmish. Let's keep them... Skirmish is not great, if I'm going to be slow-mowing it anyways. Who did I just send the Dwarf Rangers? I sent the Dwarf Rangers to fight the... No, let's not have them fight the Wolf Rider Archers. Are Orc Boys faster than Border Rangers? 33 speed, 31. It's not as clean as I would like it to be. We're going to need somebody to show up to help there with that fight. Let's send the light scouts, actually. Up here on the front lines. Yep, things have not gone great for these guys. These pikemen, let's... Yeah, we'll have them stand in place. Let's set everybody to guard here while I'm thinking about it. Let's see, all of you are going to be set to guard mode. Amelia Immelshielder is up near the front lines. Let's get her in there, and let's cast... Well, first, let's cast a fireball on these Orc Boys. These poor unfortunates. And over here, the Dwarf Rangers are about to get into a fight with the Goblins, but the Goblins will probably lose that melee fight anyways. Dwarf Rangers aren't too shabby in melee. Okay, now, let's cast... Yeah, let's get everybody in here. Okay, we're in a decent position to do some flanking here, so let's do that. The border rangers, they're going to have to, at a certain point, just accept it. Yeah, they're just going to have to fight, yeah. Let's see, the light scouts got bogged down in a fight with those orc boys, which is not what I wanted to happen, but probably should have anticipated. Let's get these freelance knights fighting these goblin archers. The light scouts, we will have them, yeah, attack the orc boys, flank them, get usage out of that devastating flanker ability, which I have so far not really used. And let's flank this main puddle of orc boys here. Have we got any other abilities to pop? Let's pop Killing Blow. And Fireball. Will Fireball be any use at this range? Probably not. No. Okay, these guys are sitting around doing nothing anyways. Let's get around and let's hit these people. Let's get in there. Let's get the Goblin Archers. Yeah, we'll just let Amelia fight this by herself. The Goblins did do a lot of damage to the Bugmans, but we'll live with it. Where are the Light Scouts going? They're going after somebody. Who, I don't know, but somebody. Let's get the Light Scouts in there. Light Scouts actually did quite a bit of damage there. That was quite nice. Okay, let's get this dealt with. Cleaning them up at this point, really. Yeah, I think it's about to be done. Let's... Oh, hey, we get an opportunity to fight Largug himself. Let's go deal with him. Oh, these orc boys are now getting sandwiched between militia spearmen and light scouts. Not a great position to be in. The border princes, like, a lot of their gimmick, to my understanding, is supposed to be that their units aren't as good as the other southern realms. Which is definitely the case. When you look at the stats, they're not that good. But still, like, they're just... The stats are still so good once you get those buffs going, man. Because these militia spearmen and light scouts are doing way better than they should, really, in these fights. I would certainly think so. Okay, they're on the cusp of a chain route here, yeah. It's really just their lord left. Let's get the artillerymen on the cannons. Well, it's a siege, so I think we're fine to just go ahead and wrap it up here. Decisive victory. Thank you, game. I'm glad you had praise for me for once. I probably should have actually, once the front lines met, put that into slow-mo and just taken a look at the front lines battling. It's a habit I'm going to have to learn. It's not really something I do, but I think it would really not only improve my enjoyment of the game, but just make for a more entertaining video. Oh, look at those numbers on those pikemen. And those numbers on those Bugman's Rangers. And those numbers on those freelance knights. And the freelance knights took, like, no casualties. Seemingly no damage at all. Oh. Even the light scouts did well, and I've mostly the times that I've used them, I have not gotten good results out of them. Though I think, you know, I was of course using them incorrectly. It's the devastating flanker ability is what you want them for. And of course the fact that they're light cavalry, so they're excellent at running down archers, artillerymen, units that are fleeing, all that sort of thing. I was really just using them poorly because I was in a bad situation, I suppose. Just using the unit incorrectly out of desperation. I nearly just lost balance and fell over. They might look like an undisciplined rebel to you, Sergeant, but a man fights twice as hard when he's defending home and hearth. Edwalst von Hilde. Is that supposed to be Imperial or Marienburg? Because there's a lot of Vons in Marienburg. We lost a cannon, because, yeah, I forgot to move the cannon behind the front lines and have the front lines move up to match it, but wasn't really that much of a tragedy. We'll get it back in a turn or two anyways, with Gausser's excellent replenishment. Other than that, all the casualties here are completely negligible. So let's take this place. And let's loot and occupy. We won the battle with a small treasury. Alright, and let's make a deal.
Let's hear what you have to say.
I'll give you Baragdoazbag in exchange for military access and money. He finds that agreeable. And we can slap a non-aggression pact on there. Sure.
I agree.
Alright. There we go. And Mr. Gausser, do you have any movement left to enter a stance? No, you do not. Well, still, you can be sitting right here next to... Okay, Baragdoazbag. Okay, Beric Var is at peace with the Creeping Death tribe. How about that? Good to know. I guess I'm basically I'm fighting a proxy war for them.
I will marshal the men.
Good old politics. Let's see. Hammer and Anvil. Let's go further for that. Yeah, increased charge bonus for the... Yeah, that's probably helping my cavalry do even better than before. The charge bonus, the leadership. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'll take that. Another point in that. Let's see. What are the numbers looking like? Yeah, 30 charge bonus is actually pretty good for a light cavalry unit. But, really, 70 charge bonus on freelance knights. Oh, boy. Yeah! Very nice. Alright, Amelia Amel Shielder. Let's see. What else can we throw on you? Well, Myrmidia's Ward. Missile resist ain't bad on Lords and Heroes. They can sometimes get absolutely shredded by missiles. Especially if they are on a monstrous mount. However, Amel Shielder will not be on a monstrous mount. The horse is as high as she goes. Let's see. I will go ahead and take, yep, the extra melee defense. 67 melee defense on a hero. Not too shabby. And how close are we to our next prayer? Legion's Courage is at rank 18. Blessing of the Goddess is not a prayer. Okay. Shield of Myrmidia is the next one at rank 15. Increased missile block chance and armor. Yeah, pretty good. Legion's Courage is the last one, and that one gives immune to psychology. Oh, that's not even a prayer. That's just a passive buff. Really? That's really good. Immune to psychology is fantastic if you're going to be fighting vampire counts. Right, she gets Faith's Bastion, right? Which is... she gives herself 20% damage resist, 20% damage ward. And at the end of her tree, she gets Benediction, which gives every unit in her vicinity plus 8 leadership. Which is fantastic when you consider that she already also gives immune to psychology. And also, if you throw on Soothsaying, then she's going to increase her leadership aura size. And Augury, which increases the leadership she gives to nearby units, eventually by 9. That's amazing. Yeah, just loads and loads of unbreakable units. Sheesh. Alrighty then. And we've got a hero who hasn't moved. Oleg, let's watch you get hurt. It'll be really funny. You're gonna assault units. Oh, hey, you succeeded. How about that? Did better than old Francisco. Actually made sure to do your stretches this time. Let's see. What do we want to give you? Do we want to give you more melee capability, or do we want to give you more ranged capability? Well, how far are you from getting a horse? Well, you got a Bretonian look to you. You're probably more melee heavy, ain't you? Let's go ahead and, yeah, let's give you some melee, especially because your melee defense is really poor. So it'd be wise to invest in covering for that. We can also, with the amount of money that we just got shelled out to, or shelled, what's the word? The amount of money they shelled out to us. The amount of money that Beric Var just shelled out to us, we can afford to do some building. So we will go for building in Ockendorf. See, the tavern sounds like a wise idea. More wine for selling and more control. But the ranger building would give us access to dwarf rangers, swashbucklers, and enforcers, all of which are excellent units. Or we can upgrade the garrison. But the garrison's already pretty beefy for the moment. I don't anticipate the greenskins trying to pick much of a fight here. We'll go for the tavern because I'm likely going to be needing control with the chaos corruption. Well, is the chaos corruption? The chaos corruption is gone. Oh, it was only for a single turn. All right, well, that's nice. Still, the control is nice. It will increase our growth. Because, let's see, at the top tier of control, we get minus 5% recruitment cost. Not too shabby, because Southern Realms can already get a lot of good recruitment cost and recruitment skill level. Recruitment rank buffs, so they can make their recruitment game excellent. They can get high growth. They can get high campaign line of sight for settlements. All not too bad. How much would it cost for me to upgrade that ranger building? The borderlands are dangerous places for dangerous men. Some of them are on the local prince's payroll. I'll take that, yeah. Swashbucklers are an excellent unit. They will take elite units and make them just as crappy as regular units. I've seen them in action. They are disgusting, and I love them. I've seen swashbucklers easily wreck Chaos Warriors in fights. Let's see. How is Skarsnik's siege going on up here? He's got a big old stack of night goblins, I see, and he's going up against Karazakarak with its garrison of 14. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to go on up there and help Thorgrim soon enough. But one thing at a time, let's secure the Blood River Valley first for Barak Var, and then we'll skip on east. Now, let's see, diplomacy. What are we doing for diplomacy? Anyone want to make some deals with us? Averland, you're nearly dead. If I made deals with you, that would make Vlad hate me, so we'll hold off on that. Trade, we can set up trade agreements. Let's first set up a trade agreement, sure, with Chian Ho of the Celestial Loyalists. Apparently you brought a trade caravan over here, so I'll take this, sure. And Carrick Norn also wants a trade agreement, so we'll take that. Excellent. That's about as many deals as we're going to get. Now, I am curious. Let's go ahead and check. Let's go ahead and check how our trade is doing economically. Because this sort of thing can be very important to look at this screen to make money. A lot of people don't look at this screen. Understandably so. It can be kind of... can feel a little bit intimidating seeing all these little things here. But we can see right now we're only producing one trade resource, which is wine. We are producing it from the Tavern in Ockendorf. The Tavern in Ockendorf is producing 5 barrels because it's the Tier 1 wine building in Ockendorf. And it is exporting 100% of our wine barrels because we've got trade deals going on with 4 different factions. So, you know, there's a lot of buyers and we got high demand and low production here. Low supply, excuse me. So, yeah, at a resource value of 12 gold per barrel, though, right now, if every barrel of wine is worth 12 gold, let's look at how things are in Ockendorf. Let's look at the tech tree, the building tree here. If we were producing 5 barrels, then that's 5 times 12, which is 60. And then if we were to upgrade now to Tier 2, which is what we're doing, that will double the amount. Double the amount of barrels, and we'll be making 120 gold on top, 120 gold specifically off of the trade agreement, on top of the 75 gold we're making off of the building itself. So, as long as you have trade agreements running, and as long as you're selling all the products you're making, as long as demand is bigger than supply, then we will be making from this vineyard, not the 75 gold that is listed, but instead 195 gold, which the Tier 2 farm generates 30 gold. So, not really competitive. The Tier 2 clothier produces 370 gold, which is good, but it doesn't give trade resources or control. And trade resources aren't just valuable in terms of capability to sell them, but trade resources, and someone can correct me here, but to my understanding, trade resources increase the desirability of trade agreements with you. The more trade deals, the more trade goods you have to sell, the more people want to trade with you. And as a result, more trade goods lead to getting more trade deals, which lead to you selling more trade goods, which lead to you making more money. But on top of that, more trade deals lead to opening more diplomatic doors, lead to more alliances. More alliances lead to more secure borders, more allies to help you in war, and more units to recruit from allied recruitment. So trade good producing buildings are excellent. Especially for the Southern Realms. The Southern Realms loves trade very good production buildings. Let's just look. We would produce 25 barrels at the Tier 5 level of the winery monopoly. So if we were to take 60, which is the amount we're making right now, off of the 5 barrels, and multiply that by 5, it would be a big number. However, I am bad at basic math, so it would take me a minute to actually think of that. It would be 300 gold, on top of the 150 that the building comes with naturally. So the building would make us 450 gold, comparative to the 750 gold from industry. But the trade good number would go up if you introduce the trade depots building, which increased the amount of tradable resources produced faction-wide by 5%. So that's just going to keep stacking and stacking and stacking, and making it where you're producing more and more and more trade goods. It's good stuff. It's quality. And there's my little nerd rant about how much I love the trade used love to use trade in this game, excuse me. Why, it can kind of sometimes economically hurt for the races that don't have very good trade options. The greenskins being the big ones that stick out. They don't have trade at all. They just can't do it. Which is a little bit odd. I want to say there are some examples in the lore of, like, goblins trading and stuff like that. Now, we're going to be in an interesting position here. How do we deal with Snorko Ol Weirdy camping out in his house by himself? On some level, I suppose the answer is we don't have to deal with it. It's unlikely he's going to step out and fight Eikendorf, so we're probably not that... What is Skarbrand doing on my beach? Why? What? Hold on. No, wait, I need an explanation. Okay, I guess I got it. We have established a satisfactory trade network with our neighbors. What matters now is how we continue handling our trade markets. Expand the network, +10 diplomatic relations with all factions. Mercantile eloquence, income from trade tariffs, +25% faction-wide. Empowered merchant princes. Lord recruit rank +3. Treasury +1500. Can I not look at my trade screen? No, I can't. Well, for now, I'm just gonna go with more from trade tariffs, but never mind that shit. Why is Skarbrand here? Why are you here? It's because he hates Gashnag and is trying to hunt down Gashnag's last settlement. Oh. Let's look the other way and pretend he's not there. He's not what Skarbrand? What big angry demon with so much strength and so much auto-resolve power? Huh? Never heard of him. Let's go somewhere else. We do not have a trade agreement with, is that correct? Well, We probably want to start going a little bit more westerly, just in case the problems over there get more severe, so we can sail across the Blackwater and deal with them. Let's go into Force March stance for now. Well, if we go into Force March, there's a decent chance Snorko Ol Weirdy will underway his way across the mountains to fight me. I hope that Thorgrim gets this stuff under control. I'd prefer not to have to deal with a giant Skarsnik stack, but if I do, then I do. Okay, hero not moved. Oleg Hertvig. We're just gonna keep you messing with Snorko Ol Weirdy here, just to gather experience, just to farm here.
Yes, General.
Okay, and we also get to do a little bit of building the Eastern Border Princes. How about that? Let's upgrade Karakangazar, sure. Get a better garrison there, get better farms, better grazing fields, whatever. We're going to be away from home for a while. Probably better for us to go ahead. Let's go ahead and lease mercenary contracts. Sure. We'll do that. 500 gold. We do not have iron. Oh, that's right. We only had iron because we knew those Bretonnians who did, but they're dead now. I think there's a distinct chance I end up having to fight Skarbrand sooner rather than later, which is the thing that with every Badlands campaign is you end up having to fight Skarbrand, which is terrifying, but eventually you gotta look the fear in the eye, I suppose. Skarbrand, I'm not too terribly worried about what Skarbrand's up to in the Western Border Princes right now. He'll probably be able to take out Vardanos pretty easily and get Gashnag dead, but I'm not too worried about him knocking over any of my settlements, because they have generally solid garrisons, and he's rocking a pretty small army there. But Skarbrand can go from not being a problem to being a problem at any point pretty easily. Now, what just happened there? Oh, Wickwithil just went ahead and knocked over the Varenka Hills. Thanks. I'll take it. Sure. Why not? I'll sell that to Barakvar if you're not willing to. Now, let's see. I guess I didn't have anything that I was in particular planning if I can't do mercenary contract leasing. Actually, as a matter of fact, I should probably go ahead and cut the recording here. Oleg failed, but he did not pull a hamstring. He did not blow a quad. Excellent. Alright, well... Oh no, he's here to stay! This is bad. Oh, that's real bad. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's... War is definitely an inevitability. What does he think of me? 115. Yep. Yep, we're looking down the barrel of a Scarbrand war. I need somebody out there. Anybody. We'll go ahead and go with this guy, because he's going to buff the region while he's here. And this is a problem we are going to have to deal with in the parts to come. And folks, I will see you then. Later.